Greetings, Commander. Dr. Relic sent word you'd be on your way. I've managed to keep the medtechs at bay long enough to write some quick notes on the situation and the artifacts in question. I hope you'll be able to sort out what we could not.
Read artifact notes entry.
The relic coffer next to this datapad is the same one you recovered earlier with Dr. Relic. Inside the coffer, we found a Sith medallion along with 8 ancient stone tablets. The medallion is fashioned after a Sith mask, with a crystal set into the forehead. When held, the medallion produces a mild tingling sense of foreboding, supporting its authenticity. For secondary verification, we had Harris try to nap while wearing it. The nightmares came almost immediately. The 8 tablets bear a variety of carved images, all unique, and all strongly thematic of Sith values or philosophy. The simple symbology of the images, along with their lack of text, led us to suspect that the tablets might have been intended to teach in some way.
Read situation report entry.
We were unable to make much progress until recently, when Harris found a new artifact in the cave known as the Architect's Hollow. Like the Coffer relics, this new object dated to the Exarchon era and appeared to be related. We set out to investigate, Harris bringing one of the tablets and the medallion, but the expedition was a disaster. Just as we reached the artifact's location, a hulking Massassi attacked us. It was one of their relic keepers. We had scouted them just west of the cave entrance, but didn't think much of it. They normally keep to themselves, jealously guarding their relic altars, but this brute went straight after Harris. Like it knew full well what she had. Needless to say, Harris didn't last long, neither did our escort for that matter. We scattered and fled. I don't know what became of the tablet or the medallion. It shames me that relics have been lost on my watch. I know Harris meant nothing to you, Commander, but she was a great colleague. On our pride as members of Dr. Relic's team, we need to put this puzzle to rest in her name. It's what she would have wanted. Dr. Narissa Delau.
A copy of Dr. Delau's notes has been added to your inventory for reference. These must be the remains of Harris, as Dr. Delau described. And just beyond her, the newly discovered artifact. Examine the body's condition. Harris's injuries clearly show that she was attacked by something quite large, consistent with Dr. Delau's report of a Massassi relic keeper. It also seems that the local cave wildlife has been picking at Harris's body in the meanwhile. Search the body for the missing artifacts. Searching a half-chewed pocket, you find what appears to be the Sith medallion Dr. Delau described in her notes. Unfortunately, the medallion has an empty socket in the forehead instead of a crystal, as Dr. Delau noted. Fresh scoring around the socket suggests that the gem was broken off or otherwise picked out. Concentrating on the medallion, you can sense a similar force disturbance nearby in the cave. But it feels almost alive, not an inanimate object. You find no sign of the missing relic tablet on Harris's body or in the immediate vicinity. An enigmatic artifact lurks in the shadows, silently keeping its secrets. Examine the artifact. On the front of the artifact is a pair of panels, each engraved with an image. The first engraving depicts 2 figures, their arms clasped in friendship. A pair of deep angry gouges cuts through the image. The other carving depicts a liberated figure, ascending to the stars, as several smaller figures look on from the surface. The style of the engravings clearly matches that of the relic coffer's tablets. It is easy to see why Harris suspected the artifacts were related. There are 5 slots across the top of the artifact. The scratches and wearing around their edges suggest that the slots are meant to hold other objects. Seeing the similarity between the artifact's engravings and your tablets, you try sliding one of your relic tablets into a slot, and discover that the tablets fit perfectly. Try things involving the Sith medallion. Try placing the medallion into an empty slot. Dropping the medallion into an open slot has no noticeable effect. Try touching the Sith medallion to the surface of the artifact. Touching the artifact with the Sith medallion has no noticeable effect. Do something else. Walk away. Try placing relic tablets in the slots. Interact with the first slot. Place a tablet in the first slot. The Tablet of Passion. Interact with a different slot. Interact with the second slot. Place a tablet in the second slot. The Tablet of Strength. Interact with a different slot. Interact with the third slot. Place a tablet in the third slot. The Tablet of Power. Interact with a different slot. Interact with the fourth slot. Place a tablet in the fourth slot. The Tablet of Victory. Interact with a different slot. Interact with the fifth slot. Place a tablet in the fifth slot. The Tablet of Broken Chains. The Sith medallion's aura of unease intensifies into a yearning. It is reacting to something. Try something else entirely. Try things involving the Sith medallion. Try touching the Sith medallion to the surface of the artifact.
Iwagelons, Merenai, Ipla, Lesiens. Prodigal. Sawasega walaida unsima. Ufaro aleis rekidya.
Jailer? You were kept prisoner here?
Ipanuela in smodiet kipans? Inoisi, ya aleis namanidies.
Neither.
What was Star Wars?
Exar Kun died long ago, and I don't know any black-eyed Sith.
Habai, Asiona, Aziediona. Tupamai, Arbajidao, Nosodichans, Biurstuam. Seldon, Sigiade, Guy. Sus amins wets full, Gawadida, sick from towns. Paulos ya Silvanos yatem, Niliason lakitnyan gudatin.
Who are you?
Kiba iswis, so keep Nick, Nipatay sivo atakains ya fortinyang. Nipatay forwesedan, swear na kadidi.
Your servitude isn't required, but I may take your help. Tell me what happened to you.
Inalay matay, gas wipinday, bi matay warpas inalay or puspunyay. Siklay karyakajya, waldunaf nyata karyita.
Kun was already dead?
Onsinandol, ya ustion hans or freistubnion no diabolus, afstop fiara. Ungasi buana, yape stilios froyanesius, yape riaka yape.
You're saying he destroyed this place to become immortal? Sounds familiar.
Ipse kunimina kumana jabai. Idai jai nupai. Dugagundi gawandidei. Nimala nuis wisbidumai. Ingatya apau.
The Temple of Sacrifice was destroyed when someone else tried to use it.
Jens wepai. Sarbiom ixkumo. Ip atogida. Melasliwama. Wartsin emerenai. Se gapuriada.
This black-eyed Sith. Do you know who he was?
Unte pata kipiono yala iswirienna. Se nai galawin binai warponzia for in Balpia. Ne pateo for mujesadan warren yakade. Akya sawuladais.
The Sith Emperor. I know your enemy. I've fought him for a long time now.
Idrigios do ian marida.
You may join my alliance. Keep your word, and you'll find things a lot more comfortable than here.
Aina pidion.
Commander, this latest discovery of yours, the Dashade, you have outdone yourself. Talos was outright dumbfounded. He believed that the clues he found were most likely idle legend. But this Dashade, a creature that can consume Force essence? This is groundbreaking. I wish greatly to better understand this process. But for his part, the Dashade is being uncooperative. He will occasionally tolerate some cursory examination, but attempts at more in-depth analysis result in violent threats of surprising detail and specificity. Relatedly, he has a stunningly detailed grasp of Hutt anatomy. But I will not be deterred. The potential advances of understanding are too great to give up. Think of the possibilities. Perhaps we could bribe him with a treat of sorts. Do you suppose you could convince Sana Ray to part with one of her trainees? One of the less promising ones, of course.
I don't think Sana Ray could be convinced. No.
I unfortunately agree with your assessment. A pity. Sometimes truly worthwhile art requires some sacrifice. I shall think of some other solution.